Good evening. Welcome to welcome to tonight's meeting of the Human Resources Committee for the Board of Education here at Nashua North High School. We're starting a little bit late, so it is 5:35, and Ms. Bishop is going to be the clerk for us. Would you take the attendance?
Yes, Ms. Giulio?
Here.
Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Ms. Raymond and Ms. Darling are not here, so I am filling in. Oh, there she is. Ms. Raymond is walking in now, so never mind.
Okay.
We have Dr. Andrade and Mr. Baus.
So I have 3 items.
Turn your mic on.
I don't want to talk. We have 3 items on tonight's agenda. We have a human resources update, and would Mr. Baus like to fill us in on your update for today?
Certainly. So the breakdown just provides a list of the current job openings as of today, 1/29/2024, kind of breaking it into the positions that we have open. We have a total of 122 open positions. Of the 122, there are 36 teachers. At the elementary level, there are 16 teachers. Middle school level, there are 14 teachers, and there are 6 at the high school level. Paras, we have about 50 pairs that we're still looking to retain. Food service, we're up to 21 for food service openings. Plan ops, 14, but to point out, most of those are crossing guard positions. I did break it down. Custodial positions specifically, we have 6. Maintenance, there's 1, and then the rest are security monitors. Administration, I'm happy to say that there are no current openings. And lastly, we are looking for 1 clerical employee at the moment. And then just to kind of give you a quick recap, as of today, with the ones that go through today, we'll have a total of currently 20 teacher retirees for the 23-24 school year.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Ms. Raymond?
Thank you. I'm curious what we're doing currently for the current teacher opening. So I know that they're posted, et cetera, but what about the classes that those teachers would ordinarily be teaching? Do we have long-term subs? Are we not being able to offer some classes that we thought we could at the high school? Like, what's the impact on our students?
Some of them have been condensed classes. They were classes that may not have been fully, so we've broken maybe a class of 15 up into two teachers, so 7 to one class, 7 to another, and then the other ones would be either a long-term sub or a long-term sub or a daily sub filling in for them.
Right. So we haven't had to cancel any scheduled classes at the high school?
Nope.
And then have we exceeded the teacher's contract guidelines for students per teacher?
No, we have not. And I believe there's still some wiggle room with space there as well. So they're not at their max.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you for that report. Next, we have in tonight's packet the CTE Director Job Description Update. I trust that everyone's had a chance to read it. Do you have any questions about it? Yes, Ms. Raymond.
Thank you. I just wanted to know what certifiable in New Hampshire in career and technical education means, because I know that there was a lot of discussion with the state on, the size of our program, the limited number of CTE directorships in the state, and whether or not, how does that work?
So as far as I'm concerned, they treat it very similar to being a principal. So much like a principal, you need to have 5 years teaching in that field, this field being CTE, so they must have 5 years of teaching in the CTE field, as well as having the school or having the schooling behind that as well for the education piece on that aspect. So I want to say, Dr. Andre, I believe you can, fill it in. I know you've been working directly with the director of the DOE, so.
Yeah, so in working with the Department of Education, when we say certifiable, it's a reasonable pathway to obtain their certification. Some of the caveat that gets in the language at the state level is 5 years of a CTE teacher, which may or may not be negotiable with them kind of moving forward. So if you're an English teacher, right, that doesn't qualify as a CTE teacher, but as long as we have a pathway to get a directorship certification, the DOE will say it's certifiable.
Kind of like the alternative certification program for teachers. So there are a huge variety of classes in CTE, like 19 different categories. So could someone come from like biotech or AutoCAD or auto mechanics or any of those, right?
They could, and I think when you see in this, the draft of the job description, there's the overall responsibilities to director connecting with the community partners and in an area established working relationships. So we want someone who actually has the skills, that's going to be a collaborator, a networker, thinking outside the school walls to be able to expose our students to real world learning experiences and also bring the businesses into the school. So that's not the typical pathway of like a typical teacher, whether it's CTE or regular education, on those types of interpersonal skills. So those are like we want to explore more. If someone's coming in from the business world or the marketing world, could they possibly have a pathway to be a director or a principal of CTE? Because in our conversations with the Department of Education, the director of CTE or a high school principal or superintendent, the job's changing from the traditional pathway. So we're looking for a lot more flexibility on the path to certification. Again, around could be an alternate pathway. So
Has the state been responsive to, or have the discussion even happened? Because I know, like when it comes to, for example, the superintendent role, there are some districts that instead of having a superintendent, they have like an operations manager or a business. They've retitled it so that they can tap into people with alternative experience. I almost feel like CTE, you want a marketing person or someone with a degree in business as opposed to education, absolutely. But I think to build up the program, we have teachers and we have, people in charge of doing the education part.
and that's exactly the conversations we've been having with the Department of Education. But right now on the current regulations says it's 5 years of CTE experience. So there's still rules that they have to follow, but they're willing to explore different pathways. Encouraging.
All right. Are we doing anything special to recruit for this one?
We'll be posting tomorrow. We have a couple. So
This is a challenging one.
we, surprisingly enough, we already had inquiries coming in.
Ooh.
So when we post tomorrow, after this is approved tonight, hopefully we'll be moving in the right direction.
Thank you for taking all of those questions. I know I had a lot.
Any other questions, Mr. Johnson? Questions? No? Does that satisfy you, Ms. Raymond?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, so I guess we're looking for a motion to approve this job description for CTE director.
I'll move to approve the job description for CTE director.
I'll
Or
second.
Director of Career and Technical Education, I guess is the.
Second.
Second, yes.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Motion passes. Thank you. And now we need to move to our personnel recommendations tonight, which don't include any new hires. We have listed 14 people who intend to retire at the end of the school year, at the end of the 2023-24 school year, to be added to the 6 others that have already submitted their plans to retire. So I'm looking for a motion to approve tonight's personnel recommendations.
Do you mind if I add one thing?
Oh, yes, sure.
So they do have until Thursday to get their letters in. That is the deadline. So this isn't the final number. I just wanted to let you guys know they do have until Thursday to get their letters in.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so is there a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve the retirements, yeah.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anything else for tonight? If not, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
Well, I'll get the hat trick. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you. At 5:45.